Let's make some noise. Come on.
All right, Nick Foles. Let's indeed make some noise. Welcome. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another rousing episode of The Final Word here with MattyB on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. With your boy MattyB on the call. It's midweek madness, as the show title dictates and says, and it's great to be back on this Wednesday night. It's official. The Eagles are now preparing for the Packers as they are back to work, I believe, today. I think they came back to work today. It's Wednesday. So they're preparing for their Monday night matchup in Green Bay, where it will be reported a nice blistery 20 degrees or in the 20s on Monday night for the Eagles-Packer game. The first real test of winter-like weather the Eagles have probably really endured all season long. Don't really think that's going to be a problem. I'm just saying it's interesting where we've come so far this season. We're now playing football in cold weather. What happened to the summer? It's been a theme of my last couple months, wondering what has happened to summer. So Eagles will be playing in some cold weather in Green Bay. The trade deadline is over, and the Eagles did finish their shopping spree with just the 4 players. We'll definitely continue the conversation about whether or not this is what a Super Bowl champion does. Do they have to go out and add 4 players at the trade deadline, which I believe optically is a terrible look? And yes, it does send a message to me that Howie Roseman indeed failed this offseason, and he's scrambling around with the Eagles' future in terms of draft picks in order to try to fix a problem he could have addressed 7 months ago. So we'll continue that conversation. The Phillies making some news. Some players are going to be saying, or some players were extended, some players were not. We'll talk about some of the names that affects and how long-term that might actually affect them. Flyers coming off of that very odd win last night in Montreal over the Canadiens in the shootout. Once again, the offense continues this mediocre perimeter craziness that I don't think is going to work long-term in the NHL for success. You're not winning a Stanley Cup playing offense like the Flyers do. So we'll continue the conversation about the Flyers. And everything else that we cover here on this program, your day in Philadelphia sports, the card review, and your of the night segment, all that in a pretty bow here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network and on the Final Word. And I was going to do a hot stove report, but then I realized we can't talk about baseball free agency until tomorrow because that's when it begins. So when we come back on the air Sunday, mark that on your calendars. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow. So maybe we'll have some hot stove stuff to talk about tomorrow night, but nothing to talk about really hot stove wise tonight, other than some of the moves that the Phillies have made in theory, right? That's all they've really done. So we'll get up to date as we can on that. And anything else you guys want to bring to the conversation. So I'm really happy to be back, and I can't wait to get the show rolling here tonight. Joe, what's up, man? How you doing? Good to see you again, Joe Hale. As always, welcome to the program. Let's get it going tonight with, you know what? Before I get anything rolling, let's once again take a look at our pretty schedule. We are on Wednesday night. You had the Pittsburgh Sports Fest that just was on right before me. Tomorrow night, the Birds Blast of Kyle Quinn does make its return. Right now, it's coming back. I haven't heard anything differently. So me and Kyle will sit down tomorrow. We'll absolutely go over this trade deadline stuff. We'll talk about the Giants game. And we'll talk about Giants game. Seems like it was 5 years ago. I think it seems like it was like a million years ago. We'll talk about the Giants game, and then we'll get ready for the Packer game. All that stuff we'll get into. And you know, I was thinking about this yesterday. 8 games have been played so far by the Eagles. Do you know if they make a run to the Super Bowl, and if they get back to the Super Bowl, and of course, you know, theorizing that they would get the number 1 seed in the NFC, and that's giving them that. The Eagles would still have to play 11 more games in order to get back to the Super Bowl. Not to include the Super Bowl, but to get there. So they've played 8. They have more left, in theory, if they're going to make a run than they've already played. 11. They have 11 left if they're going to get to the Super Bowl. Again, summarizing or theorizing whether or not they'd be the 1 seed. And they've only played 8 games. So this season is far from over. And we're definitely going to I do want to address the window licking homers tonight. We're going to take a stab at them. My favorite whipping boys tonight, the homers, because some of the things I've been hearing past 48 hours, laughable beyond belief about what some of these fans are actually thinking about this football team. So we'll get into some of that stuff tonight. And as I always do, I like to poke the bear whenever I can. So strap it in, strap it on, strap it up. Keep your head, hands, and feet inside the car at all times, and let's roll with your day in Philadelphia sports history. This is a continuation of the other night. Remember we talked about the Terrell Owens ESPN interview back on November 3rd? Well, tonight, 2 days later, same year, 2005, the Eagles would actually suspend Terrell Owens for 4 games without pay. Now, that was the first suspension. This was the first of a series of moves the Eagles made in this situation. It was for conduct detrimental to the team. The swift and severe penalty came down 2 days after Owens took part in that ESPN interview, intimating that the Eagles would have been unbeaten on the season if Brett Favre, not Donovan McNabb, had been their quarterback. The team would then go on after the suspension to deactivate Owens, making him unavailable for other teams. So essentially shutting him down for the rest of the season and his career as a Philadelphia Eagle. We all know that he ended up signing with the Cowboys after that, and then returned, I think, the year later on that Monday night game and got pretty much smacked around by the Eagles. But tonight, the final domino fell as in the Terrell Owens Eagles drama, as he was suspended for 4 games for his conduct started on November 3rd. So we've come full circle on the TO drama, and that was tonight on November 5th. So there you go, your day in Philadelphia sports history, brought to you by the fine folks here at the It's a Wrap Sports Network, to include those individuals over at the Pittsburgh Sports Desk. Yes, the show that just literally went off the air 2 seconds ago. Please make sure if you're into the Pittsburgh sporting thing, which I don't know who is, I ain't, but if you are, make sure you're checking them out, as we have covered the entire state of Pennsylvania. Is there another part of Pennsylvania that has any sports? I mean, there's no more professional sports other than Philly and Pittsburgh. I mean, PA is a big state, 6 hours to drive across it, and we only have 2 cities that have sports teams. I mean, I guess I really can't complain. 6 hours, though, that's a long stretch of road. But anyway, if you're in the Pittsburgh sports, go ahead and check those guys out. They're on every Wednesday at 8 o'clock, which will now become my new show that precedes me. Literally, I'll be coming on directly after them for the foreseeable future. So make sure you're checking out the Pittsburgh Sports Desk every Wednesday at 8 here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. All right, let's kind of get into things. Let's peel the onion back. Eagles are back to work. I think they are. I didn't really see any indication of that. Eagles are or if they're not back at work now, they're back at work tomorrow. Let's just put it that way. Of course, the big news and the big thing everyone's looking for as we get ready to start our second half on Monday night is how these 4 pieces of this, how the new 4 pieces of this team are going to fit. It's going to be an interesting situation to see how they incorporate these guys into the defensive scheme. And I maintain that all these trades that were made is not Howie Roseman fixing his problems, and that's what again, we'll start with the window lickers tonight. That's all I'm hearing. I don't hear any criticism about the mishandling of the offseason. All I hear now is he's a genius for recognizing that he broke something, that he didn't do well, and now he's going out to try to fix it. It's unprecedented that a defending Super Bowl champion has to go out and make 4 trades at the trade deadline and add 4 pieces, critical pieces, to your defense or any part of the team. And there were fans out there calling for more because there was more upgrades that maybe should have been done. The offense was not addressed, so the offensive line is going to be what it is heading down the stretch. We didn't get any insurance for the tight end as of right now. I know there's some players that are going to fall off the scrap heap potentially. But we didn't address anything on the offensive side of the ball. Now, lost in all this, I think, is the offense, right? The problems with this offense did not disappear with the New York Giants. And again, I hate to be this guy. I really do hate to bring the guy that brings everything back to reality when it comes to the Eagles. I really do. But over the last 4 games, the Eagles are 2-2. bad losses to Denver and a terrible loss to the Giants, a very motivational, gutsy win against the Vikings where they struggled to beat Carson Wentz, and a game where they kind of just beat up a deflated New York Giant team that just lost basically their franchise and Cam Scatterboo to a gruesome broken leg or whatever he broke that day. The offense began to hum a little bit. One of the greatest things about coming out of that Giants game that I was very excited about seeing the offense was obviously the Saquon Barkley thing getting rolling again. But this offense has not been like world beaters at all this season. They've struggled, and they've struggled for long stretches of time during games. And deservingly so, the defense got all the attention at the trade deadline because that was probably the side of the ball that was the weakest. But moving forward into the second half, moving forward into games against the Packers, the Lions, the Bills, the Chargers, 2 games against the Commanders, which, yeah, whatever. I get you. But going into the second half of this season, we haven't talked much about the offense. All we're doing is glazing the offense by saying that Jalen Hurts is an MVP candidate, which I don't know if I have the strength to get into that tonight. But what about the offense makes you confident heading into the second half? And there were signs of life offensively for this football team over the last 2 games. Saquon Barkley getting going. Jalen Hurts taking more calls under center than out of the shotgun. Those are the signs of life, getting the ball out to the wide receivers, getting A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith involved. There were signs of life, but that offensive line is dinged up. And I know they've had time to sort of kind of nurse Cam Jurgens and Landon Dickerson along, a little extra time off. But there's no more bye weeks unless you're going to get to the playoffs and you get that first round bye, if you get the 1 seed. But there's no more bye weeks, and we're going right back to it with a dinged up offensive line. No insurance was made at all on the offensive line or the backup tight end. None of that was addressed. And yes, as I said, though, I'm not upset that they didn't address it. Obviously, the defense was the weakest link on this team. But how secure and how good do you feel about this team's offense? Because this has been a very madly inconsistent offense. This has been a very, their first half and second half point scoring distribution is completely unbalanced. They played well their last 2 games against 2 opponents that, let's face it, are not that good. But yet we didn't address the offense. Now, was Howie afraid they would go out and try to bring in 6 players in the trade deadline? Because, God, I would have roasted him alive for that one. So, more and more, it's looking like this offseason plan did not work. An offseason plan that essentially did not do any – well, they didn't really do anything to the offense other than Mekhi Becton. But I don't know. Man. I don't know. Is there any way to share to Facebook? Yeah, so Facebook is not working tonight there, Joe. I'm sorry. Facebook stinks for all you out there who are running streaming services or trying to stream off of Facebook. It is so they're so hit and miss with damn Facebook. It was supposed to go out on Facebook, but I was having some technical problems with it, so I said, the heck with it, and I cut it. So Facebook is not happening tonight. So if you're trying to watch me, you can only do it on X or YouTube tonight. I apologize. I do apologize. I apologize for Facebook being stupid. How does that sound, Joe? It's not my fault, man. I was trying to do the right thing. It's Facebook. And it's funny because Facebook does not allow you to stream 2 things at once. So if, in those odd times where we have like sort of crossover situations where there's a show going on and then another show jumps on, the show coming on is not going to be able to jump off of Facebook until the first show goes off the air. And some nights when you just try to log on to Facebook and stream, it just won't let you. It's just, I don't know. I don't understand I don't run the company over there. I don't know how they do it, but it's very frustrating. Trust me. I feel your pain. So no, there is no stream on Facebook tonight. It's not hidden. It's not, wrapped around a riddle inside of an enigma. It's not there. I axed it. I axed it because I got tired of dealing with it. So I do apologize for all you people expecting to see me on Facebook. And I know I'm just hurting myself, but oh well. So let's get back to this conversation. And I do want to direct and I want to address the homers because, again, I do this with the most sincerity. I truly do. I do believe homerism is a disease, and I am here for you. I want to. Every time I start a rant about the homers, I do want to make sure that I start off with, I know it's a disease that you're inflicted with. I know you can't do anything about it. It's got a hold of you. It's like an addiction, right? You just can't help yourselves. But I also want you to know that I'm here. And help is just a phone call away. Help is just an email away. Help is just a hey, MattyB away. And I'm here to help any homer out there that wants to come back to the light. I'm here to help any homer out there that wants to feel free again, to smell the summer air, to breathe deep and clear. I'm here. So if you are a homer, or if you know anybody suffering from homerism, there is help out there, and I am here for you. So please reach out. I'll get you to your deprogrammer. I'll even rent the van. We'll come by discreetly, kidnap you, take you to a burned out factory storage area somewhere down on Delaware Ave, and we'll work on you for 24 hours before we can before criminal charges are filed against us for kidnapping, and we will bring you back from the abyss and make you understand the light. But what I've been hearing from the homers over the past 24 hours, I've already expressed my deep concern over the fact that they're lauding the fraud GM Howie Roseman for doing a great job at the trade deadline to address multiple problems on this roster. Not much is said about the bad offseason. Again, I'm not asking to live in the past. Just a little consistency from the homers to really spend more than just 2 seconds glazing over the fact that Howie failed in the offseason. But we go right to the fact that he's done such a great job. Now, we do this all the time. We overhype these types of signings all the time. None of these players have taken a snap in midnight green yet, right? The closest one who have done that is Brandon Graham. Everybody else has never, ever taken a snap in midnight green. Jair Alexander was a healthy scratch for 5 consecutive games in Baltimore. And you gave up some draft pick capital, not much, but you did give up capital in trying to acquire him. Is he going to rebirth his career here in Philadelphia? Is he going back to 2022, Jair Alexander? There's a reason why the Baltimore Ravens didn't play him. And is he the great savior, a guy that hasn't got on the field in 5 weeks as a healthy scratch? So where do we pull the confidence and motivation from that? Michael Carter has injury problems. He's very, very up and down with injuries. Kind of fell out of favor with the Jets. Now, the Jets are on a complete fire sale mode. Sauce Gardner today was moved, or yesterday was moved. Was that today or yesterday? It was yesterday. Moved to the Colts in a massive package involving multiple first-round draft picks going back to New York. As the Jets just can't seem to figure it out, man. Just can't seem to get it right. Somebody let the Jets know that it really it's too easy to fix this problem. The only problem is they just are bad at fixing it. It all begins and ends with the quarterback. Once again, the Jets casted a lot with Justin Fields this year. I don't know where they were thinking that was going to lead to. Then it was Aaron Rodgers. Then you got Zach Wilson, and then you got Sam Darnold that didn't work. I mean, it's just been a nonstop, just a downpour of rotten quarterbacks that the Jets have been saddled with. Nothing's going to change in New York until they address the quarterback problem. Now, with multiple first-round picks now, I think they got 2 this year and 1 in 27, or 2 and 2, their own in the Colts over the next 2 years. Maybe they can find their way to a quarterback. And the way the Jets season is trending at 1-7, I would behoove the Jets not to win any more football games. Nope. Not that, maybe next year's the year to do that, because Arch Manning ain't coming out this year. So, but he'll come out at 26. Maybe that's the year you want to position yourself for the number 1 overall pick to try to get Manning. But They got to do something to position themselves to get a quarterback, because that's where it really begins and ends with the Jets. And they do got some really good young players, position players on that team, and they are wise to be doing what they're doing right now. This is pretty much getting rid of every single one of them, because it's just not working out, man. They gotta find a quarterback, and not a rental, not a retread. They got to find a quarterback from the draft, not a Zach Wilson, not a Sam Darnold before he went to Minnesota. But when was the last time? And again, I'm not a New York Jet aficionado, and I can't sit here and talk intelligently about the Jets. But when you think about the Jets, when was the last time a good quarterback was really part of that mix out there? I mean, I'm going back to Sanchez, potentially, and then before that was Pennington. And then, I mean, that really, they're the only two quarterbacks that I can remember in the past 20, 25 years that were any good. How does a team go so like long stretches of just not being able to find quarterback talent? It befuddles me about that. But Sauce Gardner's a Colt. Now, that would have been a trade I would have been all on board with. I would have been completely on board with that trade. There's your CB2. He just signed an extension, too. There's your defensive backfield of the future right there. Quinyon Mitchell, Sauce Gardner, Cooper DeJean in the slot. Anything else is, it's pedestrian after that, man. But we went ahead and we took Jair Alexander. And what was the guy from Michael Carter from the Jets? Added Jalen Phillips from the Dolphins, who's probably the most NFL-ready player we got in this trade deadline deal. And, of course, we rebirthed Brandon Graham. So the window-licking homers, who I have much respect for because I know it's disease, and I'm here to help you, to cure you of that, to find you help, are saying that the Eagles won the trade deadline. Okay, what does that trophy look like? You know, you made 4 moves during the trade deadline. Unheard of for a defending Super Bowl champion. And you got the audacity as a fan base to sit up and say the Eagles won the trade deadline? Why? Because they were so unprepared heading into the season that they had to go out and add 4 players? And how can you say they won the trade deadline when none of these players have played a single snap in midnight green? I just don't get the mentality of some Eagles fans. I really don't. What's Brandon Graham going to come in and shed 10 years off of his playing career and all of a sudden go back to prime BG? Jair Alexander is going to find out why he couldn't get on the field for 5 straight weeks of being a healthy scratch with the Ravens and be an instant contributor. Michael Carter is going to stay healthy, right? Jalen Phillips is going to stay healthy. You can't say those things right now. But yet we're going to sit here and have the stones to say that we won the trade deadline? That's the most ridiculous statement lately that I've heard. You can't make that decision. You cannot make that comment. It's stupid. Stupid. Howie's not a genius. Joe, I'm telling you, man, you got to be careful, brother. Told you this the other night. They're going to come for you, man. They come in the middle of the night. You think ice is bad? The Howie Gestapo got nothing on ice, man. They're going to come in the middle of the night into your home, snatch you right up out your bed, and take you to one of those re-education camps that they got and turn you into a Howie disciple. A slobbering Howie Roseman disciple. And I don't want to see that happen to you, Joe Hale. But I offer you salvation. I offer you sanctuary. I'm a sanctuary sports network, Joe Hale, and all you other people out there that have the courage to speak up against the fraud that Howie Roseman is. Now, Joe, I know you're not calling him a fraud. I know you're not taking it that direction. But whenever you speak out on Howie or against him, you are about to suffer the backlash of a part of this fan base that is completely brainwashed by Howie Roseman. And you need to be ready to accept what's going to happen. But again, I offer you sanctuary, Joe Hale, and all of you out there that are languishing under Howie Roseman tyranny. Ricky, what's going on, man? How are you tonight? Good to see you. Ricky, already getting the festivities going. I was at a Home Depot tonight with my wife. They already get the Christmas stuff out, man. Good God. Man, Halloween was less than a week ago, and I'm walking around seeing Christmas trees, Christmas ornaments. Jeez Louise, man. Does Thanksgiving not even have a place anymore on the calendar? God, man. Not even a week ago was Halloween, and they already got the Christmas stuff out. Looking at Christmas commercials already starting to show up on TV. At least when I was a kid, I remember it didn't start until Thanksgiving Day. That's when I remember it starting. Now, surprised stuff ain't out on the shelves in August, man. Really ain't. But the homers out there are talking that Howie won the trade deadline, that we did the best, yet we also acquired some of the more out there sort of players, the sort of the reclamation project players, but yet we won the trade. So you're telling me that the Indianapolis Colts, who, I mean, that owner, the girl, what's her name? Chrissy Ursay, the daughter who took over the team when her dad died. Talk about balls. Man, she's pushing it all in. She's pushing it all in out there. Got to give her a lot of credit. I'd be going through the roof if that was Roseman, but I got to give her credit, man. 2 first-round draft picks over the next 2 years for a player that's comparable to that type of move. And how can you not make that move if you're the Jets? It's just a no-brainer. You got to start rebuilding the thing, and he's an asset. Matter of fact, some of their other assets will probably start going in the offseason as they try to clear up more draft capital and become big-time players in this year's upcoming draft. But that's a move. That's a move. A player like Gardner, that's an all-in move. Not Jair Alexander, not friggin' Jalen Phillips. No, these are middling moves. These are players that at one time had some potential, had some pop, but have definitely gone away and gone down different roads since those days. And this is, again, 4 players at the trade deadline. I don't know how much more I can say about that. Tomorrow, yeah, I can open the phone lines tomorrow, Joe. Joe, I could have opened them tonight, man, if you would have done your job. We're a half hour in now? I can't do it now. It's got too much to do. Now let's get it going. You know what, Joe? I'll open them up for you, man, because it's not your job. It's mine. I got to do better. All right. So the phone lines are open. The link has now been sent out. You guys know the drill. Anybody can do this, not just Joe Hale or Ricky. Anybody out there can do it. Click on that link. It'll put you backstage here. I'll see you back here, and I'll put you up, and we'll talk. All right? So anything you want to talk about. Flyers, Sixers, Eagles, Phillies, anything you want to talk about. And now tomorrow on the Birds Blast, obviously it'll be my first chance to get all in with Kyle and kind of see where he stands in all this. I have not had an opportunity to talk to Kyle. It's been weeks. So all this is going to be fresh earth with him, talking about these moves, talking about the Giants game, talking about maybe we'll do a little bit of a first season recap in terms of kind of give out some first season awards for the Eagles, that kind of thing. And then also get into the Packer game as well. So tomorrow's Bird Blast should be fun. They always are. They are all fun. So make sure you're tuned in to see me and Kyle. And again, I have no idea because I don't listen to WIP anymore. I have not listened to WIP in years. So I don't know where Kyle's takes are on any of this stuff. I don't know where he comes out on these moves. I don't know where he comes out on really the prognosis for the rest of the season. I mean, I have an idea. I know I'm good. I know I'm good enough to kind of have an idea where he comes out on it, but we'll get into it tomorrow as we'll get the Birds Blast rolling again as we get ready for the second half. Second half is upon us. So I got a question for you. Is there any updates on the shows coming back? Actually, I'm having a meeting about that tonight. There'll be a meeting tonight. Following this program, I'll be having a meeting to discuss that very topic, Joe Hale. The intentions with the PM and the AM is to not miss a beat. Is to keep it on Sunday. The make sure it's happening on Sunday under a different name. The attacking third might be a little bit of a different situation because of the situation going on with Steve, who's also on hiatus right now for a personal reason. To get processed Sixers postgame, unless anybody wants to take on that responsibility, unfortunately, that might be up on the shelf for a while. So, and then the wraparound, more than likely, and again, this is not confirmed yet. We're going to talk about tonight. But more than likely, the wraparound will go on the shelf as well until about December when Al will come down and take it over full time. It's going to the wraparound will be given to Al. Big Al's going to take the wraparound, and he's going to do it full time starting in December. So we might just leave that up on the shelf until then. But we'll find out. I'll find out tonight, and I will back brief you guys applicably tomorrow about some of the decisions made. So just hang in there. Rome wasn't built in a day. All right, so is that a good enough answer for you, Joe? Oh, Ricky, how are you doing tonight?
I am good.
Good to hear, Ricky. What's on your mind?
Let's go Flyers.
Let's go Flyers indeed, Ricky. 7-5-1. Big game last night. Come back in the shootout. You know, build up the 3-0 lead, blew the 3-0 lead, came back, tied it late. Actually tied it early in the period. Midway through the third period. And then found a way to win the shootout, Ricky Deal. I don't know, Ricky. I'm sort of meh when it comes to the Flyers because I don't really believe that they've taken any major steps. I've seen nothing so far through 13 games to see any kind of real improvement from this hockey team. Again, I get it's a rebuild, but we got to see something. And I just haven't seen much of them differently than I saw from last season. So I share your sentiments, Ricky, 100%. Let's go Flyers indeed. But I have my concerns that this rebuild is really taking too damn long, honestly.
Do a voice recording and I'll play it for you later? Yes? Okay. I didn't really think she was going to say yes.
Do you share that sentiment, Ricky? Do you think the rebuild's taking too long, or do you think they're on pace to, you know, make the playoffs? I mean, where do you stand?
Mm-hmm.
So you think they're going to make the playoffs this year?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Ricky. Better find a goalie. Better find a goalie. All right, Ricky, you want to talk about anything else? You want to talk about some Eagles, some Phillies? We're going to talk Phillies here in a minute on the show. Some moves made by the team today. Harrison Bader opted out of his mutual deal, making him a free agent. Jose Alvarado was extended, so he's coming back. Do you think Harrison Bader eventually comes back to the Phillies there? Ricky, you think so? I don't. I think he's going to want more money and more years, and I think the Phillies should give it to him. I was hoping that he would stay that 1 year. Was it going to kill him to just do the final year of his contract and then seek, you know, a payday next year? It would have made things a bit easier for me because I had him as a major part of my offense next year. Now I don't know if he'll be there, but all right, Ricky Deal. It's fun as always, my man. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, Ricky. A man of a few words, Ricky Deal, but when he speaks, it carries a lot of weight. So, but yeah, Harrison Bader decided not to, or the Phillies decided not to. I don't know whose decision it was. I think it was Bader's. That he wanted to opt out. He wanted to seek greener pastures somewhere else or in free agency, made more money, more years. I don't know if they bring him back. I don't know if they'll be able to come to an agreement of years and money. And I don't really know the priority of a Harrison Bader now that he's decided not to stay. They might be able to find a better deal with a better player. Who knows? And of course, we're going to get into all that here as this thing progresses. Starting tomorrow, by the way, is when free agency officially begins. Teams can start signing external players and start trading players as well, as we're back into the trade time, which is a beautiful sign because that means we're one step closer to 2026. But Jose Alvarado did get extended, so he'll be back. What version of Jose Alvarado we're going to see in 2026? Your guess is as good as mine. What does the non-juiced Jose Alvarado look like? We're all going to find out next year. Rhys Hoskins on the move again, too. The Brewers did not exercise his option, so he's a free agent. God help us if he comes back. I'm done, man. I'm turning in my Phillies card. They bring that guy back. Turning it in. So let's see where it all kind of ends up. And joining us now is Mr. Joe Howell. Joe, how you doing?
I'm good. You're talking about the homers. Let the homers come at us. I'm not afraid of a homer.
Well, hang on, Joe. Are you aligning yourself with me? I mean, I don't know, Joe. I don't recommend you doing that. I'm a little bit too maybe to the side I'm a little bit too to the right.
Yeah, I have a Cowboys fan at work. I'm used to it. He said that Howie Roseman needs to be fired, and he doesn't need to be fired. He just needs to do better in the off season.
So, Joe, here's the thing, and all the show shtick aside, it's bare bones me talking about how I feel about Howie Roseman. I mean, it's hard for me to sit here and badmouth a guy that's brought us the only 2 Super Bowl championships we've ever had. But it just seems that these championships, and again, we're waiting to see how this season works out. But it just seems to me that he catches lightning in the bottle, that he gets lucky, so to speak, on some of his moves, because every year is such a drastic teardown and buildup of a team, year after year after year. And it seems like he gets lucky and he hits the right buttons every 5 or 6 years, and it turns into a Super Bowl champion. Howie has not built a consistent winner at all since he's been here. He's built 2 Super Bowl teams, 2 Super Bowl championships. I'll give him that. But it's not sustainable. It hasn't been sustainable. We struggled from 2018 to 2022, right? It's gotten better over those last few years. We now have an opportunity right now, right here, to go back to back and, yes, create the Eagles dynasty. But I don't know if the team is in the right position to do that. And that is evident by the 4 pieces he had to add during the trade deadline.
I think we're going to find out more. I'm not saying Green Bay. I think we're going to find out more next coming Sunday night.
Detroit
scares me. Yeah, I admit it. Detroit is awfully good.
Yeah, and I know Seattle's picked up a lot of steam lately too. I mean, if you look at the standings right now, Seattle is the number 1 seed in the NFC right now on paper. They're 5-1-1. That tie's got them over the edge of the Eagles. I don't know if that's going to work out, but Sam Darnold, it might work.
Reported that the Eagles are number 1.
No, if you look at, I saw ESPN, they had it on there today. I mean, maybe it's percent, maybe they're running internal tiebreakers. I don't know, but I saw the ESPN had, if you look at the standings and you just put it by conference, it has the Seahawks as the number 1 seed. Anyway, that's irrelevant at this point, but I don't have faith and confidence in any team led by Sam Darnold. I don't. So Seattle might have a really good young defense, and they probably can contain Jalen Hurts, and they probably can contain the Eagles offense, but I just don't have any faith and confidence in Sam Darnold. It really comes down to me about the Lions. Tampa is another team that's lying out there that could hurt the Eagles if they got to go down there. If Tampa's got to come up here in the playoffs, might be a different situation. But if the Eagles got to go back down there, we could be in for something.
Tampa has to get healthy. Mike Evans is out for the year.
Yeah, he is.
Godwin's is out.
And they made no moves at the trade deadline, at least none that I know of.
You're absolutely.
So that's interesting. But
I'm going to argue with Ricky's point. Flyers aren't making a playoff.
I don't think they are either. No, it's a hard watch, Joe. It's hard to watch this hockey team.
I brought up yesterday the power play. I like it better this year than last year.
I remember you bringing that up, yes.
I like the toughness of Rick Tocchet better than last year's coach, Torts. It seems like after he said what he said Sunday night, they listened but they barely won.
Well, they came out of that game playing well in the first period. I don't know what the hell happened in the second period, but when they came out for that third period, it was like they were playing Game 7 of the Stanley Cup. They were their heads were on fire the entire game. They were up and down that ice. It was a very fast-paced third period, and they kind of tried to. I think they tried to wear the Canadians down. As far as Rick Tockett's effect, and again, I've been very vocal about this. There's been definitely a few areas, defense being the number one, team defense being the number one area that this team has improved on dramatically from last year. I love the fact that Tocchet wants to keep the front of the net clean. Now, of course, we have issues with our goalie who can't seem to stop anything from distance or elevated. That's another subject. But as far as the power play goes, and I think I mentioned, I answered this, or you asked about Zegras, and I said I think that you might be onto something. Right now, they're 9 for 43 on the power play for the season. That's over 20%. It's 20.9%. I'll take that. That's like the league minimum. That's the league minimum percentage to be effective on the power play for playoff teams. Most playoff teams are in that 20 percentile range of power play effectiveness.
And it helps that Couturier is healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Last year he wasn't. You could tell.
Yeah, it looked like you wore out a little bit down the stretch. I agree. I don't, but the end of the day, they're still averaging less than 3 goals a game. They're averaging about 25 shots a game. They're just not generating enough sustained offense. And then when they do get offense, it's always from the slot or the perimeter. Nobody's in front of the net to claim a rebound. They don't win battles in front of the net. They don't win battles in the boards. They're just a differently built team, and it's just not a team that can win a Stanley Cup. It's not. And I know it's not supposed to be.
No,
but we're looking at 6 years, Joe. If they don't make it,
a wild card team for the playoffs, I'd be all right with that.
I don't. Yeah, I don't care how they get in, but I mean, but we're looking at 6 years. If they don't get in, 6 years without making the playoffs, no Flyer team in franchise history has ever not made the playoffs 6 straight years. That's terrible.
So one more topic. Well, 2. I read an article on ESPN saying that the Phillies need corner outfielder help. If you go get Bader, that's one of them. Who else would you say is out there? Would Bellinger be okay?
I mean, they would put Bellinger in center and move Crawford to left. Bellinger played center field last year for the Yankees. Did really well out there. I think they're absolutely. I think that article was really kind of. I mean, we knew. It was like we needed ESPN to tell us that we had corner outfielder.
Yeah, we already knew.
Team, we already knew that. It's and I know that the team has been talking, and when they had that thing at the end of the season, Dombrowski did intimate that they like Crawford more in left field than they do in center field. That's fine, but you got to go find me a center fielder. I'm not doing Johan Rojas in center field. We got to find a center fielder. Yeah, we got some options. There's some players available. We talked about a few of them. Of course, Gabriel Racones Jr., in my dream outfield, I got Bader in left and Racones in right, and I got Crawford in center. If that's not going to happen.
Would this be a good bench piece?
Who's that?
Racones?
Yeah, but he's the type of player, just like Kemp, just like Crawford, just like Miller, they got to play every day. You got to get him in that lineup every day. If not, then why are they here?
So,
put them down in AAA if they're going to not play every day.
Trade Harper. Would you put Racones as DH?
No, I'm not doing that. No, and I don't want Harper back in the field. I don't. That's off the. I want Harper as a DH, and I want Alonso as my first baseman. But
I'm saying, say if you traded Harper,
you think they're going to trade him?
Yes.
Well, if they're going to make that deal, it'll happen at the owners' meetings. That's the kind of deal that has to happen in a hotel room between owners face to face, GMs face to face. That's the type of deal that happens there.
Free agent sign.
What's that?
That's when I think the big free agent signs, like Alonso signs with the Phillies.
All those big trades happen at that point. All those moves seem that I would love to go to the owners' meetings just one time and just hang out with them and go into the rooms too.
But Philly next year, the owners' meeting.
No, they always have it out west. They take it somewhere temperate so they get out of the winter air. So it's in December every year. So and I don't know if they'll even have them next year. CBA expires on December 1st. So I don't know if they're going to have owners meetings next year.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
So State has their coach.
Who has their coach
It's going to be Brian Hartline's getting the job.
for Penn State?
Yep.
Have they made that official?
He spoke. Yeah, he spoke after the game on Saturday. He hinted it that in his press conference that it's going to be him.
No,
And
let's see.
Jimbo Fisher just got a job
Yeah, I saw that.
in Florida.
I saw that. Yeah.
You leave Florida State to go to Florida.
Well, I mean, obviously, whoever comes in is not going to come in until next year. They're going to run an interim coach the rest of the way. They're not going to pull somebody in just for this nightmare of a season. They're going to let them run it out. I don't know. We'll see, Joe. Penn State's got a lot of problems right now to fix, and coaching is definitely one of them. But anything else, Joe?
No. Good show.
Sure. You sure? You done?
I could go on about Sixers, but they suck tonight.
Yeah. I know they're back to back. Are they getting beat?
They got beat bad by 30.
Ooh.
No Embiid, no George, no McCain.
So what's funny is going back to the homers, and again, I'm going to them because tonight's one of those nights that I'd like to spend talking to the homers. During this sort of like start of the season when they got better, when they were good, you know, they got up to that big 5-0, 6-0 start, whatever it was, they're 5-1, whatever they were. I started hearing people say, well, you know what? I don't have any expectations for the Sixers. I just want to go out there and watch them play good basketball. What the hell are you talking about? This team was supposed to be this team is spent like or built like it's supposed to be a world champion contender. And now we're saying, we just want to go out and watch them have fun. I mean, what kind of crap is that? No, we're not. This team stinks. It's not going to win a championship. Blow it up. What's Paul George still doing here? What's Joel Embiid still doing here? I mean, what I don't get them. It's like homers talk themselves into things just to get to sleep at night, I guess. I don't know.
Pat's fault about the Sixers. I think he's the biggest time around of the Sixers. Yes.
Who, Pat?
I almost said that.
No, Pat's a flip-flopper, man.
No, he likes Embiid, and then he doesn't like Embiid. I think the Sixers are going to be mediocre. What do you say? 6 seed in the playoffs.
So you think they're going to make the playoffs? How many wins? 40? 35? 50?
Better than last year.
What were they last year? They only won like 20 games, right?
Yeah, I think they go 40 wins.
40 wins. Wow. That's a lot of wins. A lot of wins. I don't think they win 40 games. I don't. I think they win 25. 5 games better than they were last year.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. All right, Joe Hale. Thank you for checking in. Tomorrow night, Joe, I'll be back. We will be doing, I'll be sandwiched in between the Gridiron Weekly and the Clear the Ice. So it's going to be a fast and furious show tomorrow night. All right.
Phone lines next Monday. I got you. Or Sunday.
No, I'll see if I can get them open. I'm not going to be on the air Monday because of the Eagles game.
I got you.
All right. But I'll be back Sunday.
Perfect.
All right. But I will be back tomorrow, Joe Hale. Thank you very much. Joe Hale joining me as he typically does. But all right. So let's get into the other night segment as we are winding it down. All right, the other night segment brought to you by what are we gonna make brought to you by the Wraparound. That's right. That show still does exist on this network. And again, more than likely, the Wraparound will probably be on the shelf until December, until we can get till Al comes down and takes it over. Al's playing around with like little kid football. I don't know what's going on. He's taking them to the Super Bowl or something. He can't legally take them across state lines, but they're playing in the championship. I don't know what's going on with Al. He's involved in some weirdness. So, but whenever he frees himself up from that weirdness, where he's going to end up taking over the Wraparound, and it will be on Friday nights, 10 o'clock. I don't know. It might go earlier. We talked about that. I'm not married to 10 o'clock or 10:30. So we'll see what we can do about the Wraparound. Friday night's not a big post-game night, typically in the winter sport area. So we'll see what we can do about maybe getting the wraparound down to a reasonable hour of the evening or not. We'll see what Al wants to do with it. So, but it is brought to you by the wraparound that will return at some point in the next month and a half. So tonight we are still on with the Flyers prospects of the portion of the night show. Again, we're way too soon to start talking MLB draft, or way too soon to be talking about NHL draft, but we are actually getting closer, and of course, way too soon to talk about spotlighting Phillies players because we don't even know who those players are. So for the time being, probably till about January, maybe into February a little bit, we'll be focused on Flyers prospects for the of the night segment, and then we'll start kicking in. Then there's going to come a time where I'm going to be rapid firing like 4 of them on one night. It's when it becomes annoying. So I got to go and create all these damn graphics. But tonight we're back on the Flyers, and we're still on the Flyers, and a good young prospect from the Flyers. I really like this kid, and he's getting closer and closer every year to joining the big squad, and that is Mr. Cole Knuble, sporting his Notre Dame gold hockey helmet. Yeah, that's annoying looking. Knuble was a 4th-round draft pick back in 2023. He's a center, 5'11" and 185 pounds. A bit of deception and nonstop movement. He's a true give-and-go player. Nonstop scanning and proactive off-puck positioning. Knuble's threat from everywhere on the offensive zone. A passing threat in both open ice and down low, and a scoring threat. I don't know how much we're going to get him down low at 5'11" and 185 pounds. That concerns me, but, he's still a young lad growing into himself. But a very good young player that I've been kind of looking at from afar for a while. So far through 8 games this year with Notre Dame, he's 2 goals, 4 assists for 6 points, but an interesting -4. He's a -4 on his plus-minus. So that might be more indicative to the team around him than the player. But he is entering his final year of eligibility with Notre Dame. So he is going to have to, he is signed, by the way. So as soon as his eligibility runs out, he's going to have to join the Flyers in some aspects. So next year, or maybe this spring, you might see him down in Lehigh. Of course, he's the son of he's a former player's son, and a good young player. Kind of has a little bit of a Dave Poulin comp to him. If you want me to make a comp about him, it's unfortunate that I can't give you any sort of current modern day comp guy, but he's got a little bit of a Dave Poulin thing going on with him. He's not menacing to look at, but he's deceptively good offensively. I guess that's just kind of where I'm going with it. And looking forward to seeing him. Looking forward to seeing anybody at this point. But anyway, there's your player of the night, or your prospect of the night, Cole Knuble. Any updates on Peter Marone and how he's doing in college? I just had it up. I don't feel like bringing it back up. It's Martone, and it's Porter Martone. Good God, Joe. What, you taking like hooked on phonics lessons from Pat? Jesus Christ, man. It's Porter Martone, not Peter Marone. I mean, I know we're going to South Philly the hell out of that later on when he gets here, but let's just keep it somewhere in the spectrum there. Porter Martone. No, I do. I had it up. I don't have it up anymore. But he's up there with Michigan State, powerhouse, perennial Frozen Four competitor. Yeah, another Flyer prospect playing in college. I gotta love it. But there you go. There's your of the night segment. Brought to you by the Birds Blast with Kyle Quinn, the quintessential Eagle pregame show entertainment. Join me and Kyle every Thursday at 7 or 6 or 5 or 4 or Fridays at 5 or Fridays at 6 or Fridays at 7, anywhere we can kind of fit ourselves in for the most bodacious, entertaining, educational, enlightening Philadelphia Eagle pregame show experience in the free world. Me and Kyle Quinn, 94 WIP is Kyle Quinn. We'll come at you week to week, and we'll be back tomorrow night. I think I may have to reach out to him here. I haven't, but we'll be back on at some point tomorrow as we'll get ready for we'll talk about some Packers, talk about some Giants, talk about some trade deadline, and get you set for the second half of the Eagle season. So, All right, that brings me to my final segment of the evening, my favorite. All right, welcome to the MattyB's card review. My favorite part of the night. Last night we went way back, or not last night before that when I was on. We went way back into the wax pack era, talking about some 1988 score baseball cards, featuring the super shortstop card that featured Hall of Famer Cal Ripken, Alan Trammell, and very good shortstop Tony Fernandez. We're back in the digital age tonight. We're back in the current age. And a little update, by the way, for all you baseball cards aficionados out there. The 2025 Topps Holiday Set it was released onto the open market on October 22nd. So you can go out and purchase those cards today. The Topps Update series will be coming out next week. And then the Motherlode, the granddaddy of them all, the one that you've been waiting all year for, is the final one. The Topps Update Chrome series will be coming out at the end of the month, and that's the one that has all your the one-on-one rookie auto relic. That was where the Paul Skeens card was last year. That was in that set. They've kind of leaked some of the one-of-one rookie cards, rookie auto relic cards that are going to be featured in Topps Chrome, Topps Update Chrome. So much to say. But that's the one everybody waits for every year. It's the final one that comes out for the season. It comes out at the end of November, and it'll be hitting stores at the end of November, just in time for you to, buy a box, a mega box, or 2 or 3 for that special Matty B in your life, so he can wake up on Christmas morning and see them under his tree. So again, that's funny because we talked about this all last year when the Paul Skeens card hit. The Pirates were offering this crazy bounty on that card. They were giving away 30 years luxury box season tickets, a bag of Paul Skeens swag, dinner with Livy Dunn, or I don't know what else I know what else I would do with her, but I don't know what else they were offering, but meet and greet with her or something like that. And the card was found. It was purchased at a card store sometime in December of 2024 as part of a Christmas present for a 12-year-old kid. And it got wrapped up and stuck under this kid's tree. And it was the 5th pack of cards he opened up. Imagine that, family. It's life-altering. On Christmas morning, he's going through baseball cards and he comes across the one-of-one Paul Skeens rookie auto relic. I mean, everyone and their mother was looking for this card. And he finds it, the 12-year-old kid. Then they go ahead and they don't take the Pirates up on their offer. They put the card up on Fanatics' website for auction. It goes for $1.11 million. Dick's Sporting Goods, one of the Dick's Sporting Goods companies out of the Pittsburgh area, purchased the card, gave it to the Pirates for a while to showcase over at PNC Park, and now have it on display at one of the local area Pittsburgh Dick's Sporting Goods. So if you're looking for that card, it's out there. Just Google the Dick's Sporting Goods in Pittsburgh that has it, and they made a little display for it. So a little update on the Paul Skeens card. We were following that pretty closely last year, around this time when it started, when all that hype began. But tonight, we're going to stay with Topps 2025 Chrome, just straight Topps Chrome. And we're going to talk about a player that's actually been nominated as one of the finalists for the AL Rookie of the Year out there with the A's. And we'll discuss his card right now. And it's the 2025 Topps Chrome Jacob Wilson Power Plunders or Power Players. It's a parallel card inside the Topps 2025 Chrome series. I mean, you already know where I stand when it comes to Chrome cards. I think they're probably the greatest invention. The man who created Chrome and die-cast printing and all that stuff that makes these cards possible should be given the Nobel Peace Prize. But he's that person, and Topps in general, completely revolutionized the card industry. I think the first Chrome cards hit the circuit back in 2001, if memory serves correct. I have a Jeremy Giambi from 2001, a Topps Chrome. It's worth about $2.10. But anyway, this card currently for a Rookie of the Year candidate, best I could find, it was about $5. But Jacob Wilson, it represents that very young, good core of the Athletics that you heard it here first, man. 2 or 3 years from now, they're going to be a good baseball team. Nick Kurtz, who's the other rookie that's nominated for Rookie of the Year, also with the A's. I think he's one of the cards that they're featuring at the one-on-one auto rookie relics in the Top Chrome update series. So that's going to be a big card to try to find. But this is the Jacob Wilson from Topps Chrome. Color on color. Really cool looking card. Again, you guys know where I stand on Chrome. I think they're one of the greatest things ever invented. And this is a very, very, very cool card. And again, at $5, ain't gonna, can't retire on that. But these are cards that you stockpile. Jacob Wilson, Rookie of the Year candidate, could be Rookie of the Year. And who knows, it could be the next Ozzie Smith. You hold on to cards like this. You see where their value will come 10, 20, 30 years from now. So there's our card of the night, the Jacob Wilson 2025 Chrome. And here it is in its actual physical form. All that color dancing off the screen, huh? You like that? I love that stuff. But there it is, kind of full color back of the player. There you have it. MattyB's card review of the night, 2025 Jacob Wilson Topps Chrome. And that is going to take us to the end of another great program. I want to thank Joe Hale, Ricky Deal, and all those else who chimed in and caught us on live. I appreciate it. Tomorrow night, thank you, Joe. Tomorrow night, I will be back in between Gridiron Weekly and Clear the Ice. So I'll be trying to squeeze into a window of about an hour. So make sure you're checked in for our final broadcast episode of the week. And yeah, so thanks everybody out there. You guys have a great rest of your Wednesday night and a fantabulous Thursday. I'll catch you on the other side.